Hello, good afternoon out there. Welcome to today's edition of the Sport Orbit. I am Salifu Usman. I'm not alone in today's editions. My colleague Olawale Ayene Ubi, who is with us from the United Kingdom. Wale, good afternoon.
Good afternoon for having me, Salifu. Well, good afternoon to the rest of the crew in the studio. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you. Today's edition of the Sport Orbit is loaded with a full lot of story and like it happened yesterday, the Flying Eagles make good of their promise by fulfilling their first target after beating Uganda yesterday 1-0 and to reach the semi-final of the ongoing Africa Under 20 Championship, and which automatically earned them a qualification to the World Cup coming up later this year in Indonesia. The Fly Eagles, the courtesy of the own goal by the Mohamed Ibrahim of the Uganda side, gave the Flying Eagles all the needed victory, the deserved victory that they needed to secure their passage to the semi-final of the ongoing Africa Youth Championship, and then automatically qualify them for the World Cup ticket. And with that victory, a whole lot of congratulations is coming on the way of the Fly Eagles. The Minister of Youth and Sport has also congratulated the team and urged them to go further after securing the first target, which is to qualify for the World Cup, to going further by winning the AFCON. And at the same time, the former Super Eagles coach, Austin Eguavoen, has also congratulated the team for doing the Nigeria proud, and at the same time to try to also go a step further. Likewise, the president of Nigeria Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusu, has also shocked the team that having fulfilled the first target of qualifying for the World Cup, now the ultimate target now is to ensure that they will pick the trophy, which is the ultimate goal. And the last time Flying Eagle won the African Youth Championship was 2015 in Senegal. Wale, I hope you are following the match. And then, what is your impression so far about the Flying Eagle campaign at the ongoing African Youth Championship?
Of course, at this point, we know it is not difficult for teams when it comes to youth, game football in Africa because other teams are beginning to catch up with Nigeria. You saw that game yesterday. We actually no struggled in that particular game, but that particular home goal was just enough to ensure that Fly Eagles, get to qualify to the 13th appearance of the Under 20 World Cup in Indonesia. No doubt about it. It was a very, very tight game. The Uganda were very solid. But where I want Ladam Bosu team to actually get to improve on at this point, it will be in their final third because we know they get to dominate the defense and also the middle of the park. But getting that final ball, they get to pass through behind the Ugandan counterpart. But finding that last ball for them to actually get the ball to the back of the net is still what is lacking in Ladamboso's squad. So I feel for them now that the job is done for them to qualify to the World Cup. That is in the bag already. What they should do now is for them to concentrate on how they are going to win the semi-final games, then proceed to get to play in the finals. Because if they can get to win the finals, that will actually boost their confidence, going into the Under 20 World Cup, being them as being African champions. But they have two games away, for them to be ascribed as the African champions. We know they have won the competition 7 times now at this point. Nigeria, one of the most successful team when it comes to the Under 20, our Nations Cup. Even looking at our pedigree in the World Cup, we've played in two, finals and all that. So at this point, I just want Ladamboso and his technical crew. They need to work on, the striking force, as I've mentioned earlier, and also they need to tighten up the defense because we get to see how they get to leave some pocket holes for the opponent. And also, the goalkeeper is a very good goalkeeper at this point. He has been, doing his best, manning the sticks. But going forward, they need to play as a team more. I can see some good passes from the midfielders to the attacker, but the attacker must be able to finish it when opportunity is being given to them. Salifu.
Yeah, well, as rightly observed, because if you watch the Flying Eagles so far in their campaign so far, after the shock defeat to Senegal in the opening match,
Mm,
we commend them for bouncing back to the winning, beating Egypt in the second match, and then following it
mm,
off 2-0 defeat of Mozambique, and then before they don't get past Uganda yesterday in the quarterfinal.
mm,
But one thing that is keep on worrying a lot of Nigerians are just like you rightly mentioned, is their inability to be clinical on finishing the chances that is coming their way. They have several chances to score a goal, but unfortunately, they are not making count of the chance that is coming on the way of the team. And then now, yes, they have secured the ultimate target, their first target of going to the World Cup, which they have fulfilled that target. Now everybody is urging them to go a step further by winning the competition. Now in the semi-final, uh, Senegal, who beat Nigeria in the opening match, is still in this competition. Senegal also booked their place, beating the Benin Republic 1-0 to get to the semi-final yesterday. And now the last two semi-final will be holding today. And Nigeria is likely going to meet the winner between the Gambia and South Sudan. But if you look at so far, the way these Fly Eagles have looked, because one everybody's worried about, can they has what it takes to win this competition, especially their inability to make their chances count when it comes to goal.
Of course, I think it's still is possible because looking at the team, the setup of the team, they keep improving game by game. They lost their first game against Senegal. They defeated the host even right before their home fans, and also getting to beat Mozambique 2-0. Then getting to win Uganda in that particular game 1-0, which was a very tight game. You could see those boys fought from the blast of the whistle to the wire. So it shows that in the African scene, when it comes to age grade, football, there are no more minors in the game at this point. And as it is now, they need to take their chances because if you don't take the chances, there's no way you can score goal. We're in the knockout stage of the competition. So you need to score goal for you to actually progress to the next one. I think that is where Ladamboso, just as I've said earlier, Ladamboso and his technical crew, they need to actually get to work on that particular how they were able to score goals. Because we don't know the midfield is okay because I get to see some streams of passes and they get to hold their own and they get to score. So against Gambia, whichever Gambia or South Sudan, we know those teams are not a pushover. They are very strong side. We know they are very energetic. They can actually play 120 minutes of football because I feel our own players also, I feel they don't really have enough stamina to carry the game. So I just want Lalamboso that should be more clinical so that they can able to end games and win games within 90 minutes. I think that will be better for them. For them going into 120 minutes, I feel fatigue might also set in, and also that might actually get to affect them, Salifu.
Well, thank you. In the front, the Ranger Internationals of Enugu resumed training yesterday after a 1 week break for the presidential election. If you recall, the league management committee give organizer of the league give give a 3 week break for the league to enable the participants of the league, the players, and the officials to participate in the ongoing 2023 election. After the presidential election, we still have a governorship election coming up on the March 11th later this month, but the Enugu Rangers are not taking their chances. We're not waiting for that long break. They resumed training yesterday, and after resume, the administrative secretary of the team gave the shot to ensure that they fulfill their promise. If you recall, the Ranger International are not too effective so far this season. Wale, I don't know if you are following what is happening in the domestic scene here in the Nigerian Professional League. Ranger International, the former league champions, are not too, their performance is not too convincing this season. Abdul Mekaba left side, and yet they have managed to at least record 2 victories so far this season in the 9 matches so far, and they are languishing within the top four bottom of the league. But looking at these Rangers internationals, based on their pedigree as a former champion, for my international club for that one of the biggest team, one of the team who have maintained their consistency in the league so far, and now their performance this season are not to be impressive. But now, while the other club are still on break, courtesy of before the election, but it's like they are aware of their and they resumed training yesterday to ensure that they're putting structures and to remedy their situation. Do you think how do you manage what is happening to the Ranger International so far this league?
Of course, we know the pedigree of Rangers International when it comes to the Nigerian League. They were 2016 champions of the NPFL, and now they're actually, struggling, for them to get points in the NPFL, league. Looking at how they were able to win two games the kind of pedigree of Mekaba, I feel things are not really going well for him at Enugu Rangers at this point in time. We know he's very good. He's very, very experienced when it comes to the Nigerian Premier League. He's one of the most experienced coach in the league at this point. So I feel things are not really working for him. And also, you could remember teams were not on duty. They were not active in playing for about 6 months when the league actually went on, and now coming to play. A bridge league week in week out for them is I feel fatigue is setting in at this point in time, and they are not even getting their rhythm. So I feel they need to actually get to recruit more players. They need to give them the needed support. Makamba, I know when it comes to tactics, it has it. I think the players maybe have been one of his a problem, or maybe he has actually get to lost his technical room at this point. So I feel both players and officials is actually running around Mekaba at this point in time, ensure that Enugu Rangers get to return to the winning ways. We know they actually get to compete, for the MPFL, and at this point in time, that is what they should be doing, and not, finding themselves in relegation waters, because getting to win just 2 games in 9 games. Wow, it shows that that is not actually good for a team who want to actually stay in the MPFL, and also who want to actually play in continents, because I know the kind of pedigree when it comes to the organization. Enugu has one of the best, is one of the best organized, team in the Nigerian Premier League at this point. So I feel at this point the players must get to running down, their coach, and ensure that they get to return to winning ways. For them, returning to training is highly needed at this point in time. They have to train. They have to understand, themselves. They have to know the kind of philosophy, the tactics that the coaches want them to actually, get to show when they get to play matches. So for them to return to training, Salifu, is a good is a fantastic idea, for any good Rangers, who we know that the performance have not been impressive in the season so far.
Okay, thank you. Like I told you earlier, Ranger Internationals are currently 7 on the law. If you know, the current league is an abridged league, abridged
Mhm.
leagues of 2 groups of 10 teams each, and Ranger International are occupying 7 positions on their log, and they have won so far. Like I told you, only 2 matches, so two matches so far have 9 points, draw 3 matches. So this is not too fantastic for Ranger International, one of the a former champion. But well, we'll be going on a short break. When we come back, then don't go anywhere. We'll still have a lot of story. This is an interesting story. The league feature for this league is still on. So just wait. Don't go anywhere until you come back from this short break.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome back from that short break. Victor Osimhen is one of the prolific strikers, one of the most informed strikers so far in Europe, has promised that he will do everything to ensure that he helped Napoli win the second, that is the Serie A title and Champions League this season. Osimhen has been firing from all sleeves as one of the best strikers. With like Mourinho described him, is one striker that can even score goal from just a half or any slim chances. And with that, he has helped Napoli to lead the Serie A title club with 18-point gap, full the 18-point gap, and had also helped the team to reach the semi round 16 of the Champions League in their first match against Frankfurt. They win 2-0, and then they have at least two leg, at least one leg into the quarterfinal already, and he has promised that he will do to ensure that they win the Serie A title, and at the same time help the club to win Champions League if he achieves his objective. The last time the Napoli win the Serie A title was about 30 years ago. And with what Osimhen has been instrumental to their success so far this season, and he has promised that he ensure that they help the club to win. Wale, if you look at Osimhen this season, is one of the best strikers in the Europe at the moment. And with what he has done so far with Napoli, and his promise that to ensure that you help them win the second two, which is the Serie A title, and at the same time Champions League. Well, for the Serie A, there's no doubt about it. Except something miraculous happened. They already have the title in their hand with 18-point gap. But for the Champions League, do you think Osimhen and his teammate in the Napoli has what it takes to win the Champions League, and like Osimhen's promise?
Of course, anything can happen at this point in time. But for Victor Osimhen, we know he's one of the best striker in Europe at this point in time. Apart from Haaland that plays for Manchester City, who has scored about 33 goals. Osimhen is the second player who has actually scored 19 goals this season so far, and the season is not yet over. They still have more matches to play. So I feel looking at his zeal and the kind of work rate he put on for Napoli, I think it is actually not possible. We cannot say it is over until it's over at this point in time. But looking at the Serie A title is for Napoli to lose at this point in time. Getting to be leading the standings with 18 solid points, it shows that that is a team that is actually destined to win the Serie A title. And I feel that Osimhen, he wants to score week in, week out. He wants to put 120, performance for Napoli at this point in time. We get to see him do that week in, week out, getting to score. They'll be playing later today. Hopefully, we should get to see him, getting to score also. So I feel, Victor Osimhen is one of the best, strikers in the world at this point in time. 150 million pounds for me is not enough for any team who want to actually get to sign him at this point. So for Victor Osimhen, who is saying he will do everything possible for them to win the Serie A title, I feel it's a good one because we see him week in, week out. The zeal he put in the game, he gets to give this the team this push. He get to motivate other players for them, to actually put on an impressive performance anytime they come on the field of play. I feel is possible. Nothing is impossible when it comes to the run leader game. For him to say they want to win the Champions League when they want to win the Italian Serie A because. We know it has been a very, very long time for Napoli, who has actually not get to win the Italian Serie A, and for the Champions League, it might actually get to happen. Looking at the way they have been firing with all cylinders, and I feel the likes of Victor Osimhen and the rest can actually make it happen for their coach at this point.
Thank you. And then the Nigerian Gymnastics Federation is targeting to make their second appearance at the Olympic at the Paris 2024 Olympic. If you recall, after making their debut at the last Olympic in Tokyo, Nigerian Gymnastics Federations make their first appearance at the Olympic in 2020. The Olympic 2020 hosted in 2021, courtesy of Uche Ike, but the performance was not too impressive. Uche Ike could not able go beyond the first round of the competitions. But however, the secretary of the federation, Oludari, has said that the federation is doing everything humanly possible to ensure that they earn at least 3 athlete qualification to Paris 2024. We wish them all the best. Then FIFA World Cup trophy will be landing in Nigeria on the March 26th. As usual, FIFA in their usual time to mobilize and then to support and to draw attention and to attract interest from youth and across the world to go into the game of football, and is using the trophy to move around across the continent, across the world, particularly the participating country, and Nigeria being one of the first Super Falcon, be one of the participating at the FIFA Women World Cup in New Zealand and Australia. The trophy will be landing in Nigeria on the March 2026. Well, still on the foreign scene, Lionel Messi, the best players at the moment, according to FIFA, who voted him as the best players on the continent at the moment, has all that a golden iPhone, who buy almost 35 golden iPhone for all his teammates and officials that helped him to win the World Cup at the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Wale Messi achieved his longest dream of winning the World Cup at the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Yes, he was instrumental, but it was a teamwork. But as a leader of the team, as a captain of the team, he feel that yes, everybody believed that yes, it was a victory for Argentina, but everybody feel that victory was particularly for Messi, who has been looking for this title for years. It's like he acknowledged and he want to appreciate his team and all the officials that make it possible. Is that a good gesture?
Of course, very impressive for Lionel Messi because we also saw how he has been actually looking for this particular title 2014, 2018, getting to win it in 2022 shows that he is actually very, very happy for him to win, that particular, title. And what a way to, get to appreciate and also just to tell his teammates and the officials, thank you, getting to order 35 golden iPhone, for his team and staff. I feel, it is not, for me, it's not that bad and it's not, it's highly welcome for him just to show appreciation that thank you, for all your hard work. And this is what you get if you put on the hard work. I think this will actually get to inspire younger generation for them to put in their best. And also other teams also who actually get to learn from these, for them to actually put in their best at all time in international competitions, just as at the World Cup. So I feel it's a very, very good one. Just the same way that Mikel Obi get to support the Super Eagles at every point when the teams need one or two support. We saw what he did during the Olympic Games, how he actually rally around the teams, and most times also Ahmed Musa has also done that, getting to running on his team and the officials. I think it's very, very good. Him being, the captain of the side, he has actually showed why he is the leader of the team, and I feel this is a highly, a welcome, and the players will be, and the players and the staff were very happy, to receive a golden iPhone. Salifo.
The customized phone that will have the name of each of the players and their jersey number on the phone will cost Messi £175,000.
Of course, that's plenty money. Plenty money, but he has the money.
On the Premier, La Liga, the La Liga leaders, Barcelona, will not be able to sign a new player in the next summer. That is according to La Liga, the organizers of the Spanish league. The chief organizer, at least the boss of the president of the La Ligas, yesterday said in London that Barcelona have weighed their cost, and that they cannot be able to sign a new player. That means Barcelona will have to do what they have this season in the next season. Wale, Barcelona, after the coming of backing of Xabi, after strong last season, it appeared that they are clicking well this season, currently topping the league. Yesterday they also beat the Real Madrid in El Clasico in the Copa del Rey first leg of the match. Although they are not too fantastic in Europe, they get knocked out of the Europa League by Man U, knock them out of the Europa League. But on the domestic scene, they are clicking well this season, topping the league and have a chance of winning the Spanish league. But however, with the squad they have at the moment, La Liga has telling them that they have to make do of it this season, and at the same time next season they will not be able to sign a new player because of their wage bill. Wale, how is this going to have the effect on the Barcelona's campaign next season?
Of course, if you look at the La Liga standing, Barcelona are the one, sitting on top with 59 points. It shows that they're not doing badly this year. And for them, they might actually get to win the league. They have just, about, 7 points separating them with the second place, talking about Real Madrid. So I feel things are going on for them. And when you look at the setup of Barcelona, they have the mixture of the young players and the older players. So I feel at this point, if they're able to keep all their players and don't allow any of the players go during the next transfer season, I think they can still be able to survive and also to survive the pressure of this current season and what they should actually get to expect next season. Because when you look at the likes of Rafinha, the likes of Gabi, they're a very very young team, and I feel they can still not stand the test of time. But looking at the players of Sergio, he will be one of the oldest player in the La Liga setup at this point in time. So I feel that they still have experienced players, so they should still be very very okay. Looking at Lewandowski, of course, can still play this season and next season very, very well. So I feel they can still be in good shape, despite for the fact that they will not be able to sign new players next season, because we know that financial play has come on their way at this point. We've seen so many players getting to go for pay cuts just for them to keep their financial fair play at this point, but it's not really working for Barcelona, and they have been slammed the ban for them not be able to sign new players in the transfer season. But notwithstanding, I think Barcelona can still carry on with the crop of players that they have now for next season.
Well, the tenista Novak Djokovic has made a promise that he will target to make a promise that he will make sure that he win the elusive medal, which is the Olympic gold medal at the Paris 2024 Olympic. Messi was at the last Olympic in Tokyo, but he couldn't get into the medal. He get into the gold medal table. But having clinched all the types that needed to be won in the game of tennis, is currently boasting of the 22 Grand Slam and several other major trophy in the game of tennis. But he has not been able to win the Olympic gold medal, and has made a promise that at the Paris 2024 he will ensure he fulfill his dream. While looking at Djokovic, no doubt about it, he has the skill, he has the capacity, he has everything, but Olympic gold medal is not currently on his medal collection. And with what he's looking like, how you hope that he will be able to make the Olympic and probably fulfill that dream.
Unarguably, he's the best tennis player in the world at this moment, having to win, a lot of Grand Slam, if I'm not mistaken, 22 Grand Slam at this point. And he just want to win the world. He just want to win the Olympic gold medal, just same as Messi, who has won all the competition, and the World Cup was just lacking. A player is not complete if you don't get to win, the Olympic gold medal or the World Championship. So at this point in time, he'll be going off for us to get to play in that particular competition. He's still very in his prime at this point, so we will expect him to go all the way to win. We saw how he came back from the Australian Open and went all the way to smash. To actually smash that particular title for himself, so I feel he can still actually get to do it. Djokovic can still get to win the Olympic gold medal, no doubt about it. There are some young players who are actually coming up, but his experience will be what will be working for him when he gets to play in Paris 2024. So I feel it's actually doable for Djokovic if he gets to remain fit and he gets to keep up his impressive performance that he has been actually on for a while now. Salifo.
Okay, for fans of the Premier League, there are a whole lot of Premier League matches that will be lined up for this weekend, and the fan of the Premier League will not be disappointed as several matches. Interesting game will be on for this weekend. And on top on the card is Manchester City versus Newcastle, which can also be tagged as top of the table battle. Man City are currently second on the log, 4 points behind leader Arsenal. Newcastle were used to be in the top three, but they have slipped down, currently on the fifth on the log, and then they'll have to contend with Man City at this weekend. Aston Villa will host Crystal Palace. Arsenal to maintain their league on the table, or probably extend it by when they hosted Baltimore. Chelsea, who are still struggling at home, are still stronger, yet to record a victory after spending a whopping £3 million in just January transfer window, will host Leeds United. Brighton will take on West Ham. Wolves will welcome Tottenham. Southampton will welcome Leicester City. That's Nigerian players. At least 4 of Nigerian players will be on action in this particular match. Joe Aribo and Paul Anasho for Southampton. away from this, and Iheanacho will be out on for Leicester. Northern Forest will welcome Everton. Nigerian players will also be actually in this year. We have in this particular game we'll have Taiwo Awoniyi, Emmanuel Dennis, as well as Emmanuel Dennis for the Northern Forest side, while Alex will be on for Everton. Another interesting side and interesting encounter: Liverpool, Manchester United, and then Brentford. Fulham. Wale, looking at this fixture so far, and then looking at, well, I know you are a fan, you have a sympathy for Arsenal. Looking at what Arsenal have done this season, although they sleep, but they are bounced back to the table. But we just want ahead of Man City. Looking at these fixtures, do you think what is your comment about all these fixtures, and what do you think the bettors and the game, the followers of the league should be this weekend?
Of course, it's going to be a match watching weekend for football lovers, particularly for Premier League lovers, because it's going to start early kickoff for Manchester City against Newcastle. We should expect a lot of fireworks in that particular game, because we know that Manchester City want to actually get to win, and Newcastle just to mount pressure on the leaders. Talking about Arsenal, but Newcastle is not a pushover, but they might still be without the goalkeeper. Talking about Nick Pope, who we know has a red card, but let's see how he pounds out. Looking at Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, both teams struggling at this point in time. Memory want to win for the Villa, for Villa, for them to actually maintain, their stand in the English Premier League. And also, when you look at other games, Arsenal against Bournemouth, Arsenal also, getting to fire with all cylinders after not getting to pick points against, Newcastle, against Brentford, getting to play Bournemouth at home. I feel they want to actually win that particular game to extend their league on to extend their lead on the Premier League table. When you look at other games, Liverpool playing on Manchester United, a rejuvenated Jurgen Klopp side will want to actually get to win that particular 3 points. So it might be absolutely difficult for a Ten Hag team who has actually found that form in the English Premiership at this point, because when you look at the first match, you saw that Manchester United, defeated Liverpool 2-1 right there at Old Trafford, and now they are going to Anfield. So it's going to be, a cracker, because Liverpool want to ensure that they finish in the Champions League spot. We know now they have actually entered the top 6, and they are waiting to ensure that they keep on, that particular, performance. Good for them. The likes of Jota, the likes of, Thiago Alcantara is back. So the team has depth now at this point in time. So Manchester United must need, to watch out, that particular game. Then when you look at the Chelsea must just at this point return to winning ways. If not, Graham Potter is in the line for him to get sacked, because we know they have not been impressive. They lost against Tottenham away last week, and they also lost against Southampton at home at Stamford Bridge. It shows they're not doing well at this point in time. They need to get a 3 points just to rekindle their hope of, if they can be able to make top 6, if they can make top 4, at least for them to make top 6, for them to play in Europa next season. But looking at the fixtures this week, it's going to be an impressive a game to watch, a mouth-watering encounter for Premier League fans, hoping that Arsenal get to win, for them to actually apply the pressure, if they are capable of then getting to win the Premier League this season. Salifo.
Well, thank you. With that, we have come to the end of today's edition of the Sport Update. We'll come your way for another interesting edition of the Sport Update. Wale, thank you for joining on today's edition of the Sport Update.
Thank you for having me, Salifo. Good evening to you, and also to the rest of the team in the studio. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, our esteemed viewers. Wish you a successful weekend, and then just stay out of trouble and enjoy your weekend. I'm yours sincerely, Salifo Usman.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.